Hello and welcome to another weekly update. I hope you're doing well. I am back from MVP Summit Week in Seattle. It was great, really good. Lots of good information that I can't really tell you about. But what I can tell you was that it was really nice to catch up with lots of different people, not just MVPs, but also Microsoft folk as well, that I haven't seen for a while. Make some new connections, just do a lot of talking, a lot of thinking, and a lot of getting excited actually about some things. So that's what's happening, I think it's going to be a good year for some stuff. So other things that are happening that I can tell you about. 4 big things to tell you about this week. 4 things anyway, and the first one is definitely kind of big, so let's get into that one because I think it's quite important. This is a big change, really. So about a year ago, we heard that Microsoft had bought a new domain. They'd bought cloud.microsoft, and they were going to move over kind of all their workloads to be cloud.microsoft based. And for Microsoft Teams, that means teams.cloud.microsoft rather than teams.microsoft.com. Anyway, it kind of went very quiet after that, and we haven't really heard anything since. But now there is a new blog post that's popped up to say, hey, we're going to start doing this soon. So developers, you need to start making some changes. So specifically, these changes are going to be for, I think, mostly going to impact people with tabbed apps and anyone who is hosting an app where you've got iframe restrictions where you need to specify the allowed domains that can host your app, because right now you're probably listing teams.microsoft.com and maybe like outlook.microsoft.com. Anyway, you need to start changing those because you need to allow cloud.microsoft. So there's a big blog post that talks through these changes and how to prepare your app. One of those things involves upgrading the Teams.js library to version 2.19. Not entirely sure why that is necessary. It might be something to do with internally, like they're setting some allows or like, I don't know, something. It says here actually, there's a list of trusted domains to new CDN endpoints. So the basic, I guess the JavaScript stuff is there as well. There's a dynamic list. Anyway, what you have to do as a developer, apart from doing that update, is update your own iframe options, your CSP headers, to support or allow cloud.microsoft. Okay. Apparently, the full teams.cloud.microsoft domain is now available. I haven't tried it myself. The timeline stuff on this, they're kind of a bit vague. They're saying do it as soon as you're able. They haven't really given any deprecation timelines for teams.microsoft.com. So as of now, that's not going away. I feel like that's probably going to take quite a long time before it does go away. They're probably going to monitor the traffic on it as well once they've kicked over and added in their redirects and stuff, so that when you type teams.microsoft.com, it kind of redirects. I don't know whether they're going to do that straight away or whether they're going to wait or what. It's going to be quite a big change, actually. So I feel like they're probably going to take it slowly, but who knows? But anyway, this is your reminder blog post that if you're a developer, this is something you should go and check out now, because you can kind of future-proof yourself and stop worrying about any of the cutover dates once you know that you've added those allow headers for cloud.microsoft. It's going to take a while to get used to saying teams.cloud.microsoft for sure. All right. Next thing to tell you about, there's a new blog post on the Microsoft Teams blog. The title is Enhance Productivity Using Teams Developer-Orientated Collaboration Tools and Copilot. This is a funny blog post, I think, because this is a kind of a blog post that says, this is how you could use Teams and Copilot in Teams as a developer. So this is not developer tooling around those things. This is day in the life of a developer. What tools could you use? And it's kind of interesting for that. I get it. They've got something about doing a morning stand-up. I think that's just using Teams. Compact mode, that's just Teams. I'm not sure that's specific to a developer either, just wanting more screen space. Keyboard shortcuts, same. Popping out chats to new windows. Copilot in chat. Copilot in chat is kind of interesting as a developer, I guess, but it's just kind of interesting for everyone. Integration of third-party applications, intelligent recap. I guess this one, blocked on code, like be able to share code, share blocks of code in chat, doing kind of Copilot compose for status updates, I suppose. Being able to like do sharing, like real-time sharing of code. It's a strange blog post, if I'm honest. I don't quite understand where it's trying to land, but I don't know. I'm glad it's out there because there are some good ideas in there. So if you're a developer and you feel like you could be using Microsoft Teams and Copilot more effectively, or actually if you're thinking I don't use Copilot and Copilot is not for me because I'm a developer, I would suggest that's not right. I would go and maybe this blog post then is for you to understand, because I use Copilot in Teams every day. I find it really useful. So I think it's definitely worth looking into if you aren't already using it. But I know for lots of people, they're probably doing a lot of this stuff already. So this might be just maybe it's a tips and tricks blog post and just kind of catch up and make sure you're not missing anything. All right, big news over on Azure Communication Services because the WhatsApp business platform is advanced messaging is now GA. So that means that you can now send and receive messages from your Azure Communication Services application through third-party social messaging platforms such as the WhatsApp business platform. So what does that mean? It means that if you write an Azure Communication Services app, you can hook it up to WhatsApp Business. That's big. We talked about this a while ago, a few months ago, when it first came out and it was in preview. It's now fully GA. So if you've been waiting for the GA to jump on this and integrate it, now's your chance because it is now GA. And there's a great blog post, little quote there by Bob Sir. So he's the VP of Engineering for ACS. And they've got some good architecture diagrams, kind of how this would work, how it works specifically with WhatsApp Business, actually. And then they've got some links off to different things you can do, and they get started to how to get started with a business account for a WhatsApp business account, and then how to hook it up to Azure Communication Services. So this is really exciting, I think, for Azure Communication Services developers. It helps build out the capabilities of that platform. It helps open it up to many more kind of B2C customer service type applications as well. So this is all around good news for Azure Communication Services developers, I think, having this capability, especially now that it's in GA, because people can see roll it out and make the most of it. So that's definitely a good one to be aware of. And finally, just staying with Azure Communication Services for a minute, they've got a new blog post with their March feature updates, a bunch of new things in here that might be of interest to you. They've got limited access use tokens. The tokens you get for Azure Communication Services traditionally have actually been quite broad in scope. It's been like do voice over IP or do SMS. So now they're a lot more scoped, which is really nice. You can do it just down to like being able to make a call or participate in chats or whatever. So that's cool. They've got this cool try phone calling thing to help make it easier to onboard phone numbers and just make sure they're working. Like a testing in the Azure client, which is nice, or in the Azure portal, which is all cool. Some diagnostics and some other bits and pieces as well, including 42 countries now in GA for PSTN Direct. So ton of innovation happening over on the Azure Communication Services side, which is good. It's great to see because sometimes, especially recently, Copilot does take a lot of the oxygen out of the room, and it's great to see that these teams are continuing to push forward with other important innovations and updates as well. So that's really good to see. All right, I think that's everything from me. Going to try and keep it under 10 minutes again this week. And so have a great week, whatever it is you're doing. And I will speak to you again next time.